Hello and welcome to session 4 of our Python programming in Pictoblox interface. And in this session, we will have another very interesting activity just as we do in the others. And in this particular session, we'll be designing or programming what we call a GPT assistant. So I'm sure we are all familiar with the ChatGPT software that helps us to search and find solutions to so many questions that we may have. So in our case, we will also be developing our own GPT assistant using the GPT interface. So to do this, we will just go ahead to load the ChatGPT models. We'll be using ChatGPT to help us. So GPT has been incorporated into Pictoblox, and it's simply a natural language that will help us to initiate a conversation with our assistant, and then it will help us to understand things better because this particular assistant has the opportunity or ability to understand different languages. It has higher capabilities compared to we human beings. Okay, so to do this just as usual, we will have to switch our interface from blocks to Python. So we click on Python and then we switch our interface. Okay, now we have our sprite.py library already available for us. Now we just go ahead and then we get the various codes we will need. So the first thing we are required to do here is to get variables that will store most of our data. So I already mentioned that we'll be using the ChatGPT models. And so we should get a variable that will store all our models in it. So we are going to create a variable called GPT, and then the GPT variable is going to store all our ChatGPT models. So we go ahead and then we say GPT is equal to ChatGPT. So we are done with this. The next thing we want to do is to create another variable that will store our text-to-speech model. And with the text-to-speech model, it's a model that helps our assistants to be able to speak out loud to us. So under normal circumstances, our sprite is only able to provide us the text format of whatever output we'll be requiring. But we'll be using the text-to-speech model to be able to convert our text to speech. So we get another variable, we say TS, then is equal to text-to-speech. So now we are done with these two. So we can go straight ahead to program our assistant. And but before that, let's kindly get our project name. So our project name is GPT assistant. So we have that done. So now to code or to program our assistants, first of all, we want to state a condition, and that condition is for our system or for our sprite to take an input from the user. So anytime you try to use your assistant should ask you for an input, ask you to enter the question or concern you have, and then it will be able to go through the system, search for the information on ChatGPT, and then get the results to you. So use the ChatGPT model to be able to get all our answers. So we have to create another variable which will store every question we'll be asking so that we don't have to go back to our code to change in the question we want to ask anytime we want to change our question. So let's simply create this variable, and then let's name the variable, let's say question. So we say question is equal to, then we want to take an input. So our sprite should ask us for input. So sprite.input. Now I want to say type your question here. Okay, so when we run this code, we will get a prompt to type the question or any concern we have before the system proceeds to give us the result. And then after we do that, now we want to direct any question we have typed to ChatGPT. So we use the GPT dot chat, sorry, dot ask on ChatGPT, and then we are asking our AI assistant for whatever information we need. So we say AI assistant, and then what are we asking? We are asking a question. So if we hadn't declared a variable question to store a question or anything we want to type, then we can we can just go ahead and then type our question or anything we want to ask or we want to inquire about here. But we've already declared a variable. So whatever question we'll be typing or we need to ask is already stored in the variable question. So we bring in question here. So we are saying that ask on ChatGPT, our AI assistant, to give us response to the question we have asked earlier. Great. Now we go ahead to get our results. So we will need results after we have asked our question, and then we will use the ChatGPT results model. So we say, but before that, let's get a variable that will store the particular result we want. So let's say result. So our variable name is result, but then you can name it anyhow you want once you understand what you are trying to do. So we say result is equal to GPT dot chat GPT results. Okay, and then once we are done with that, the next thing we can do is now to let our sprite tell us our result or to speak our result. But first of all, we will get it in text form. So in text form, we just say sprite dot say. So what do we want our sprite to say? We want our sprite to say our result. Okay, so at this point, let's run our code and see how it works. Okay, so we are asked to type our question. So let's say, what is Open AI? Then press enter. So we've gotten, let me move my camera so you can see the results we are getting. So we've gotten our answer being given to us. Okay, but there's an interesting feature in Pictoblox that we can actually use in terms of our results that is being generated by our AI assistant. And that is the set maximum token value model. The set maximum token value model helps us to limit the number of words we want our assistant to produce in response to any inquiry we make. So let's put that right here. So let's say GPT dot set maximum token value, and let's limit that to 30. Okay, we can use any number we want. Okay, let's say 40 or 50 should be fine. And then let's run again and see. So what is OpenAI? So we can see that the number of words have reduced. So that is because of the set maximum token value model we have added. Okay, now we can still add one. So now we want our response to be in the form of a speech. And remember earlier I mentioned that we can convert text to speech using the text to speech function. So to do this, now the text to speech function is not assigned to GPT, it is assigned to TS. So we say TS dot speak. And what do we want to speak? We want to speak our results. Now let's run this too and see how it works. Okay, so let's see, what is the future of AI? Enter. The future of AI is, okay, so I'll have to do that again. I initially muted my microphone, and so I'll have to unmute, and then I muted my speaker, so I have to unmute and then let us hear the response. So I'm unmuting that. Okay, so let's run this again. Then what is the future of OpenAI? Enter.
The future of OpenAI is expected to be focused on advancing artificial general intelligence, AGI, while ensuring its benefits are be broadly distributed. OpenAI aims to build RT that is safe and beneficial, and to actively cooperate with other research and key policy institutions.
Okay, so we can see, first of all, our word limit has been initiated. So we have limited words, and then we are able to convert our text to speech. Okay, so thank you, and don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel.